Do you want to be inspired by extraordinary courage and real-life stories? Well, you come to the right place. Welcome, everyone, to a good place where truth and integrity meet. Every week I introduce you to thought-provoking and compelling premier educators, politicians, whistleblowers, best-selling authors, journalists, activists, and celebrities. And they all have one thing in common. They are people of truth and integrity, and, of course, they're inspiring. And many are considered modern-day heroes. So today with me, I have a special guest. His name is Terrance K. Williams, and he's a popular social media commentator, famous actor, comedian, and successful entrepreneur. Since posting a viral Facebook Live video in 2016, Williams has become one of social media's most widely recognized influencers. He's appeared on Hannity, The Greg Gutfeld Show, and a host of other national media outlets, and is featured comedian on the Deplorables tour. So you're a you're a superstar social media influencer now. Can you tell us a little about the video that went viral and why you believe it went that way?
Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate that. And as far as that video that I made that went super viral back in 2016, I didn't plan for it to go viral. I was just on my lunch break having some fried chicken and enjoying myself, and I was talking about I was addressing some concerns I was addressing some people that were telling me to move back to Africa, that I should move back. A few of my black friends were trying to convince me to move to Africa to move back to Africa, and I was trying to figure out what they meant by back, because I never been. So how can I move back to somewhere I never been to? And I don't know why y'all want to go to Africa. I mean, America is the greatest place. It's one of the greatest countries in this world. So, I was ranting all about that, and the video just went viral because people just, they just enjoyed hearing my opinion.
And where can people find your Facebook page and your YouTube channel?
People can look me up on YouTube and Facebook at Terrance K. Williams. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere really. If they just type in Terrance K. Williams.
Mm-hmm. And your book, From the Foster House to the White House, is considered a poignant and triumphant story about you. And you were born into nothing. You were neglected, starved, abused, and beaten, a product of the foster home system. And now you are an endeared person by millions of fans and followers. And you were welcomed to the White House. And I have to say, I watched the video where you were honored and introduced, and I believe it was the Black Committee. Can you remind me the name of the...
It was the Black Leadership Summit.
Okay.
The Black Conservative Leadership Summit.
Yeah. How did that feel for you?
Oh, well, it was quite the honor, to be invited to the White House and to be endorsed by the President of the United States of America was just unbelievable. I was on cloud nine, and me coming from foster care and, coming from a broken home. My mother had 9 children addicted to crack cocaine. There were 6 different fathers, and none of those guys were in the picture. And I went from foster house to foster house. I lived in children's shelters and been in over 10 different homes. And some of my siblings had aged out, and I was adopted, fortunately, in my teenage years. But it was pretty tough. And then to go through all of that and then to make it to the White House and meet with the President of the United States of America was such a blessing, such an honor. And it just goes to show that the American dream is real.
Most definitely. And I have to just say how moved I am that there were people out there willing to adopt teenagers. And this is very close to my heart. I myself have been a foster parent for a couple of dozen kids, and I've adopted 3 myself. And I always said, give me the hardest kids to place. They deserve love just as much as everyone else.
Oh yes, most definitely. And in my book, I really want to encourage, people to adopt and not just to adopt a baby, and not just to adopt a little child. Adopt those older ones too. You got teenagers that need love too. Every child needs love, no matter if they are 5 years old or 10 or 12 or 15 or 16. Like give them a chance. Believe in the children and help them believe in themselves.
That's right. I agree with you 100%. And, of course, it is a little more work when you have older children because they've been shaped by their environment. But what a beautiful thing to watch them change. That's the most rewarding part of all. And some of these people who only want to adopt babies, they miss out on that. Like I've had kids that they had never had a birthday party. They had never been to the zoo. They had never had a birthday cake or had certain food because my children lived on ketchup sandwiches. So it was just wonderful to watch them enjoy things and watch their mindset. When I first had those kids, Terrance, if we ran out of something, they looked devastated. And I said, we can just go to the store and get more. And they're like, oh, like they just weren't used to that. Can you share some of your most tragic moments, if you're comfortable, when you were younger?
I mean, well, just going through all of that was really tragic. I mean, anybody being separated from their mother and their siblings, that is a tragedy in itself. I mean, so I experienced abuse and a lot of this stuff is in the book. I don't want to. The book has not been released yet. It comes out October 15th. So I don't want to give out too much. I want people to read the book a little bit. But I talk about all the abuse and the neglect and the hard times and all of the tragic things. I mean, I had a foster lady that would. So I went hungry. I mean, my mother was not around, so we experienced a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. But God got us through all of that, and I'm here today. Living just fine and living the American dream.
Mm-hmm. And you never had to struggle with drugs? Because so many of the teenagers that I have fostered and even the ones I adopted seem to really struggle with drug addiction, whether it's some kind of genetic component or just angry and wanting to run away from their feelings.
Oh, no, I wasn't addicted. I was not addicted to any kind of drugs or anything, thank God. So I never had a drug addiction at all. But I do know some people deal with that, going through that. But I can say that I never had to deal with that, thankfully.
Yes, good for you. And you are a comedian, and you've been an actor and appeared in a couple of were they movies or TV shows?
Oh, I did some films, maybe some films you'll never see in your lifetime.
Well, yeah, but I just think that's amazing. You went to Hollywood and you are funny. I can just tell by the way you talk and just after watching your video. Where did your love of Donald Trump or your how did you become a fan of his, and what compelled you to start speaking out against the people who were slandering him and bashing him? And I understand too, like when I was watching the video, he said you really went after Deborah Messing for posting some negative comments about himself.
I mean, well, I would support President Trump since day one, since he first, since President Trump first, announced he was running. I believed in him, and I thought he would do a great job, and I was right. And I've never let people run me over. So if people attack me for my beliefs, then I say something back. And so if people, so that's how all that started. I mean, I've always been the type to express my opinion, and whether it's politics or whether it's about anything, I speak up.
Mhm. Well, this has been such a pleasure, and all I can say is you really, to the listening audience, you really really need to buy his book and get his book. And it's available on Amazon. And just go to Amazon.com and search from the Foster House to the White House, and you'll be able to find that book there. Is there anything else you would like to plug before we go?
Oh, no, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and for having me on.
Okay, well, you have a good one, and thanks again, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.